coming to you from the beautiful Jump Off Rock in the town of Laurel Park, North Carolina. Now, I don't know if any of this is going to go through because the signal here is kind of crap, but I'm going to keep trying to get through because I want to see if I can show you this. So, the name Jump Off Rock, you can Google it, is associated with yet another tragic legend of lovers somebody jumping off a very, very windy up here. So it's not terribly cold, but it's like in the upper 50s. Some trails. Now there are some areas where the trails do get a little bit climbing, so I'm gonna have to put you in my pocket. No offense, just warning you. So here we go. So I love this railing. Somebody did this beautiful railing around here and included this lovely map that shows you which mountaintops you can see from here. You can see far, far off. Isn't that amazing? This is truly beautiful. Even though it's terribly windy from the anybody can hear me. Seriously, I'm wobbling. It's so windy up here. So, welcome back here. Welcome back. Find a slightly more quiet spot and grab some tea. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and hit the trail. This is an interesting spot. They have events here. They have weddings here. They have sporting events here. Like for a while there, they used to have like a group yoga here, which is kind of cool. So there are actually 3 trails here. We're going to hit all 3. They're not very long, but they're a little bit challenging. So this first trail is the Red Trail, and it has some overlap with the Yellow Trail, and then the Blue Trail is separate, and we are gonna descend into the mysterious woods. As I was driving up here, it is, by the way, a very pleasant drive, although it is a true mountain road. I think I mentioned this when we were hiking around the Rhododendron Lake. So if instead of going to the Rhododendron Lake, you stay on the Laurel Park highway, this is where it takes you. This is where the highway ends. And it is very nice. It's beautiful. Lots of really nice houses along the road with, right now, really lovely gardens starting to break into bloom. But very windy. So it is a nicer road to drive on a nicer day. I have no idea who put a giant's chair here, but here it is. It's a little bit early in the trail to be sitting down. I mean, it's the very beginning of the trail, but here it is. And I don't know what used to be here. There's obviously something used to rest here. I'm wondering if it was a bench or something, but no idea. No idea what this was, but here it is. Up here, there's not a lot of flowers yet. Like I said, driving up, I saw tons. Really beautiful. A lot of folks up in this area have one of my favorite trees. It is called a weeping cherry. So, it looks like a combination weeping willow and a cherry. And it is a cherry tree. And it has these long, sort of drooping branches, and right now they're blooming, and they're so beautiful. They're covered in these beautiful, delicate pink flowers, but not up here. Usually when you get up here to the top of the mountains, you get about a 3 to 5 degrees difference in temperature, sometimes more. And right now, since it's so windy, it feels even colder. As we start, there's steps, but these steps are not designed for short people like me. I'm having to really struggle with these. Not sure when Jump Off Rock became sort of a popular destination, as it is right now. I myself, hey, how you doing, Hanukkah? How's it going? I myself discovered Jump Off Rock only recently, but I really like it. Like I said, primarily because it's interesting and challenging. And again, this is very, very Middle Earth. So it's got these wonderful, strange-looking rocks and trees and twisted roots and things like that. And you know, if you ever wanted to feel like Fellowship of the Ring, prancing through the woods, this is the place to do it. It's not that I blame Peter Jackson for going to New Zealand to film Lord of the Rings. Oh, look at this! This is so cool. But he could have filmed it in North Carolina too, like many people have done in the past. Look at this! Isn't that awesome? In the summer, this is actually really nice because these rocks get warm and you can just kind of hang out. So, some of this is actually where some of the yellow trail comes out. We're staying on the red trail for now. I love these. These are so strange looking. These strange looking roots. Look at that. These exposed roots. I always found them so fascinating, but this also means you have to pay attention to where you put your feet, because it's very easy to get your foot hooked on a root and fall over. I hope everyone is having a lovely Saturday afternoon. I purposely did not go hiking earlier because, again, it's windy, it's cold. And I waited sort of for the warmest part of the day. Oh, here's where we have to kind of squat and jump. And you can see, so these rocks, this was basically just a bunch of layers just sliding down and fracturing as they slid down the mountain. So, and that is very typical. That is, you see that all over the place. There's some trails in the area, like large parts of the Carolina Mountain Trail and not Carolina Mountain, I'm sorry, Hard Times Road Trail, that were created artificially. And when you are walking around, as long as they have been around, you can still see the traces of vertical lines in the rock from the explosives that were laid in to explode the rock and make a trail. This one is pretty natural. This one is just here. You know, they did lay in some steps, but all in all, you know, these rocks, you can see there are no traces of any human tools. They just slid down and stopped, possibly during the last ice age. I'll have to look at the origin of this area. I know that, okay, this is where things get a bit challenging, and I may need to put you in my pocket. I know that Appalachian mountains are old, among some of the oldest in the world, so I'll have to look when and where they have formed. So I'm going to put you guys in my pocket so that I can climb down here, rock. There we go. All right, all the way down. I'm doing good, Annika. I mean, you know, um, I'm doing okay. You know, it's basically the keeping it together day by day type of situation with the war in Ukraine and being concerned about my parents. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, this is where the red trail and yellow trail split. We're going to follow the yellow trail now, and then later on we're going to follow the red. What you making for dinner? Oh, you guys! You know, I always get so happy when I can find some sign of spring, and here it is. That is pretty. It's completely solitary. This flower is. No idea what this is. Oof. You know what? I was hoping that down the slope between the trees it would be a little bit safer from this wind. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This must have been one of the big storms, but this tree started folding and became basically uprooted and landed on the tree. And the one next to it had snapped. It looks like they were connected by some vines. French fries and chicken nuggets. And cauliflower. I love cauliflower. Sometime last year, I learned how to bake a whole cauliflower, and they kind of break it up into pieces, like just for snacks. Bake it in sour cream mixed with some herbs and some onion powder. Oh, it's so good. Love cauliflower. I don't understand why people don't. My husband told me that when he was little, his mom used to tell him that cauliflower and broccoli were little trees. Yeah, see, I'm seeing these little white flowers. I don't think they're snowdrops. Snowdrops look different, and usually snowdrops grow in little bunches, and these are just by themselves. Just like one here, one there, and here is some more fabulous rocks. Some more of these kind of spooky looking necromancer lives here kind of rocks. I am, by the way, recording this trail. I'm tracking this trail with my Old Trails app, so I will have it up available on there. And I've been doing that a lot because there are a lot of the bigger trails that are available there, but I noticed that some of the less known and smaller ones, not so much. So I think I've deposited at least 4 ways to hike the North Carolina Arboretum Pisgah Forest Loop. Oh, another beautiful rock with some lovely moss on it, and the spooky looking trees. Tree leading up. Yep, another fallen tree over there. Yeah, right now, if you look around, you can see the road leading up here and everything. In the summer, when the leaves are up, you can't see anything. And I like that better because, again, it's easier to imagine yourself being somewhere in the Shire. Oh, this rock is nice and warm. So some of this rock is, has some exposure. Yeah, the moss this is older growth. You see how dark it is? and some lichen. I can never figure out how to pronounce this word properly. But soon enough, we'll see some bright green here. And up there is Jump Off Rock. This is where we were just a short while ago. That's up there. So we'll get there. We'll go back there for folks who came in later and didn't see the lovely view from Jump Off Rock. I'm surprised that I'm not seeing a lot of people here today because, could be the wind. I don't know. But usually by now I will have encountered at least 3 or 4 different groups of folks walking around, kind of hanging out, walking with their dogs and their kids and stuff. And it's actually not a bad training trail. It's not very long, so it's not like a day hike like some of the big hikes I take sometimes. So it's a good one to pop out for like an hour and take out your kids and kind of teach them about hiking, what you do, what you don't do, how to pay attention on the trail, what you want to see. Here in the Carolinas, you want to make sure you always look under your feet as you hike because of the snakes. Yes, we do have snakes out here, and soon the baby copperheads will start appearing here. So they are actually more dangerous than the fully grown copperheads because, and I only found that out recently, like within a couple of years, baby copperheads don't know how to control how much poison they release at one time, which is why if you step on a baby copperhead and get bitten, you're in a lot more trouble than if you encounter a grown copperhead. So that's how it is. And now we climb. So this is where I start huffing and puffing like a beached whale, which is not my line, by the way. I stole that line from Barbra Streisand in Funny Girl. So you see, this tree here fell, was too big to move, and kind of stuck between different other trees, so they just cut out a large chunk of it and left it where it is. And here also, you see all these pokey rocks. You pay attention also. You want to make sure you don't stumble. This is all very broken up. Some of it is probably fresh erosion, just judging by the fact that the edges of the stones are still pretty sharp, pretty crisp. They haven't worn off and become rounded. But some of these, I'm sure, have been here for a while. This is very Middle Earthy. Look at this. This part of the trail. Yeah, you kind of sort of climb a little bit. Whew. And some more formations. Had my father-in-law been here, he could have probably told you exactly what type of rocks these are. But to me, they're just interesting rocks. And I'm going to sit you guys down for a sec, let you enjoy the scenery because I need some hydration. Anything that involves any sort of climbing for me is hard. because I am an undersized person with undersized legs and, more importantly, undersized lungs. I was born premature, and my lungs didn't develop right, so I have a diminished lung capacity. So even though I'm in pretty good shape for my age, it's still hard for me to breathe when I climb. So any exertion causes me to huff and puff. Which in turn causes you to become dehydrated. And that's how it works. All right. Up we go. We go up some more broken up rocks. And again, here's that fungus I told you guys about before. So it starts sort of at the bottom of the tree and kind of goes all the way up and up and up and up and up. And on this tree, it's almost all the way to the top, as far as I can see. So here we go. So somewhere, at some point here, we're gonna get back to the red trail. Now we're on the yellow trail, the upper portion of it. And some very rude people left some broken bottles here. That is so rude. At least they didn't leave them in the middle of the trail. This rock looks like it's been squished. Look at that. Like a biscuit. Not the British biscuit, like our southern biscuit, you know, that gets kind of all leery and fuzzy. Aha, more Middle Earth stuff. Here we go. And this is a little bit steep down here. Just a little bit. This is like a natural seat right here. It's pretty cool. Again, the fact that plants manage to find a tiny little bit of soil somewhere, somehow, to hang on to and actually become fully grown. Just amazing to me. All right. Some flatter areas here. This is one thing that you definitely have plenty of in this area. Hiking trails. If you are a fan of active recreation. Okay, Annika. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. So, if you're a fan of active recreation, this is the area for you. We have hiking, camping, ziplining. Ziplining is not my thing because I am phobically, incredibly afraid of heights. And we're back. See, here we are. We're back to that part of the trail where once again I have to get down on my butt and sit and jump. So once again, I'm gonna put you guys into my pocket and get up there. And there's still a lot of leaves out here, so that makes things kind of slippery. There we go. All right. Okay. All right. Aha, see, this is where you know spring is starting to spring. So this rock got some really good exposure to the sun, and you can see some fresh green starting to appear. The splotches of moss it's got on it. So, yep, and some more. But most of the plants are still sort of dormant. There's not even, well, you can kind of see some budding, but not much. I'm surprised. I thought some of the smaller plants, for whom it takes a little bit less of the heat to revive, would be showing some foliage, but no, right now the only foliage we have is from the rhododendrons. Again, we have a shit ton of rhododendrons here, but they're not blooming yet. Although I have seen some folks in some of their yards, some of the more cultivated rhododendrons are starting to bloom, and some of the azaleas, which of course is the same family. Okay, now we're going back onto the red trail at the fork. And again, this is like this mysterious tunnel of trees. You know, we don't know where it leads. Could be leading somewhere harmless. Could be leading to Tom Bombadil, or could be leading to a cave with a dragon. You never know. This particular area, the Jump Off Rock, is a great place to play make-believe with kids. That's another reason to bring your kids here. Oh, look. So see, there's ferns right on the edge. Right there. And these wonky-looking fungus. And again, I don't know what they're called, but they're very interesting looking. They're just there. It's like somebody just slapped them onto the side of the rock and just left them there. Just fascinating stuff. I really love this area. This is probably my favorite spot on this trail, is this spot. Yeah, and the only thing again is I'm upset with stupid people who felt they had to write something on the rock to commemorate their existence. But this is so cool. This one is Sleeping Monster Rock kind of thing. Let's get a little closer. Here. So this is what I was talking about. There's some edges right here that is pretty crisp. So that can't have happened a very long time ago. And this is brittle rock. This is hard, brittle stuff. The kind of stuff you can actually break with the good hit of a good hammer. So this can't be very old. This particular formation can't be terribly old. With fissures that recent. And again, you see some lichen here. And here, something definitely caused this to shatter. So bottom layer fell and then the top layer landed on top of it. I need a geologist to come with me on these. Anybody knows a good geologist, let me know, because I want an explanation to this. And again, do you see this? Do you see those little green spots? Little plants managed to just wedge themselves in there. You know, that's pretty amazing. Life. Always finding a way. It's a cliche, but it's true. We're actually not that far from where we started. We never were. Like I said, this is not one of my long hikes that I can't show you because there's no satellite signal there. This is just a short little thing. People pop over between lunch and dinner. And some older, bigger tree here. Although in tree terms, this is not actually that old. But we do have some slightly older growth, which is again why they filmed the Last of the Mohicans here, because of trees like that, sort of giving you the suggestion of the old America. And then there's these little twisty guys that always look like they want to grab you. They make it interesting. They make it look interesting. Red trail continues. This is not natural growth. So we're climbing back up to the actual spot where the jump off rock is at. So we're gonna wrap that up and then go down the blue trail. The blue trail is the easiest one. It's the shortest. And hey, there's the... So, you saw me yesterday at the Jackson Park. Here's some of the little yellow guys we saw. I think, judging by the shape of the flower, I think they're violets. Except they're yellow. But they got that 4-petal look. And yeah, there is like a residential area right next to the trail. Oh, bummer. And they had cut down quite a few trees. So somebody's building something, which is unfortunate. I wish they would just kind of set a boundary and leave the jump off rock by itself alone so that people continue to enjoy it. Continue to enjoy this tiny little slice of wilderness. Yay, sunshine! Oh, speaking of, this is sweetbriar. Come on, camera, focus. Camera doesn't want to focus on the sweetbriar. It wants to focus on the leaves behind the sweetbriar. Come on. Doesn't want to. But sweet wild briars are very hardy. Definitely. They were gonna be first out, or among the first out. The sweetbriars, the wild blackberries, of which we also have tons and tons here. And there's you can see a little bit of a view between the trees. That's how high up we are. And I forgot what is our altitude here. I should go back and look on the sign. But the sign at the platform actually tells us where we are in terms of the altitude. One of these days it would be fun to do a live from Chimney Rock's Skyline Trail, but I'm not quite ready to go there yet. So if you look up Chimney Rock, it is a really nice area and it has multiple trails. I've done all of them. The problem with the Skyline Trail is you have to climb like insane amount of steps to get to it. So you get to it, you're tired, then you hike the trail, and then you have to climb down, which is a problem if you're afraid of heights. Now the view from up there is absolutely stunning. Just, insanely beautiful. But getting there is exhausting. We'll see. And there's some actual violets. There they are. So, but see how, so those yellow flowers that I showed you before, they're the same shape. They have very much the same look. I don't know what they are. Are they related? No idea. In the summer, obviously, you start seeing more of the native species emerge. Now that's new. So I took you to the main platform. This one is new, so there's the main platform. We'll go back there for a little bit after we've done the Blue Trail, but this one, this is new. Stage project. So this is meant to be a stage. They do have concerts here. And again, you get a pretty kick-ass view from here. I know I have some musicians out there. So wouldn't that be fun to play at a stage like this? That would be pretty cool. With kind of this backdrop behind you. Right. Let's go pop over to the Blue Trail. And as with the rhododendron lake, there's, it is a wildlife watch area. So there's marked bird houses to keep track of the bird population. Here we go. Here's the Blue Trail. And right off the bat, we have these two amazing, huge trees. It's nice. The wind had subsided. Well, and I had warmed up. I don't feel nearly as chilly as I did when I first got here. I'm glad I left my windbreaker in the car. Aha, here we see some life. Chambriars. Oh, and here we have someone trying to bloom. See that? Somebody's trying to bloom. Yeah. This is one of the problems with climate change. Up here in the mountains, we used to have real winter. We used to have 2 to 3 big snowfalls per season. And so it wasn't quite so gray and dreary. Now we're lucky if we have one big snow, maybe. And it doesn't stay very long. So one of the difficulties if you're an outdoor person is getting yourself moving and getting yourself going when it's really gray and dreary out. So now, and spring is actually not my favorite time of year because allergies, but it's nice to see some color coming back. Then there's these little guys starting to come back too. Again, not a clue what they are, don't ask me. My knowledge of botany is very, very limited. But they look like little yellow daisies, basically. They look like a daisy and a dandelion had a baby. Unfortunately, this trail doesn't have quite as many sort of interesting looks. This shorter Blue Trail. It's not quite as Middle Earth as the other ones are. Which is why I like the other, the yellow and red trails better. And this is new. I haven't seen this branch before. Let's go. Let's go see what's down there. Can we actually go down there? Does that take us somewhere? Okay, we have a dead end down there. Okay. I was just curious. It's possible they're working on joining the tail end of the yellow trail and this trail together, which would be cool. Means you can kind of encircle the whole, kind of this portion of the mountain. Yeah. So that is where the fork was. Let's go this way. Here we go. Also, not a lot of, for some reason, I'm surprised, there are not a lot of wildlife today. Usually there's birds and squirrels all over the place. But not today. Again, not sure how they're affected by the wind. But this is one of my favorite things to find. So, let me sit down so I can show you closer. This is the moss. And I love these little sprouts, if you can see them, poking out as it's working on forming its pods and spreading out. It's so pretty, and this happens through the winter, but right now it should be easier for them. So, and it's very, very soft, but you have to be very careful touching it to avoid damaging it. But I love finding, I don't know what it is, but I just love finding these little spots of moss. And there's quite a few of them over here. So you have a nice heated rock. Yep, here's bigger ones. See that? They're just so cool looking. Hey! Hi dude, how are ya? Yes, they are like tiny moss trees. Never do not look how high we are. We're high up. Look at that. How's that for a freaking view? Okay, so this is more like it. This is Middle Earth. This is a Middle Earth part of the track. Where we got some rocks, we got some moss, we got some trees. So this part of the trail goes around the base of Jump Off Rock. I'm sorry you're suffering oxygen deficiency. We need to haul you out. You need to pop out of your drawing chair and come here. I'll take you hiking for about, I don't know, something trifling. 7 miles, 8, 9, what do you think? You think you can swing 9 miles through the mountains? This brings us back.
I bet I brought my bug.
Well, the rolling downhill is not recommended, dude. It's not. It's because look, this is painful. There's going to be a lot of bouncing. You don't want to do that. You know, if you bounce down all these rocks, that's just going to hurt. So this is cool. We're going to pop out right at Jump Off Rock. And look at that. We had like a nice little hollow. We need a dragon there. Could you draw us a dragon in the cave right there? Isn't that like a right proper like little dragon lair, you know, like with a little sunny outlook? So here we go. I'm so glad I wore my hiking shoes, because any other shoes would be just painful on these rocks. You know, people come here in flip-flops, I'm like, no. And we're back. We're back. See, you missed the opening. So since you missed the opening, I'm going to show you the view from Jump Off Rock. Okay. Aha. See, I told you there's going to be a height information here. Elevation 3,100 feet. So, surprised it. How's that for some oxygen? Pretty nice, huh? No, you can't live here. You cannot, like, build a house on the spot and live here. Besides, you know, it would be dangerous. It would be like, you have to make sure that you don't do any sleepwalking if you build a house up here. So, when I come here, and when I'm done with my little hike, I usually use this little plateau to, if I come for lunch, I usually bring, you know, like a sandwich. So this is to have my sandwich, just hang around and enjoy the view. And it is one hell of a view. You know, jokes aside, at some point up here, I was going to the gym. So this was pre-COVID. I was going to the gym. And it was so windy, I saw a robin blown out of a tree, and he did not like that. He was very upset. He was just sitting there in the tree, minding his own damn business, and the gust of wind just blew in and blew the poor little guy right off the branch. It was ridiculous. This is Jump Off Rock, North Carolina, and you can Google it. It is a place of interest. It is. It belongs to the township of Laurel Park. Can I prop you guys against my backpack? There you go. So, we actually have two rocks in the state of North Carolina, within driving distance of one another. It is very windy today. We have a front coming through with the radical temperature changes. So yeah, it's pretty damn windy. But it is warm. Well, again, I've been walking, so. But there is this rock, the Jump Off Rock, and Blowing Rock, which is further east in the state. And they both have nearly identical stories associated with them. A story of a couple in love. One of them got killed in the war and the other one jumped off the rock. And I wish people would just stop doing that, because jumping off rocks is not cool. I don't live there, no. I come here to hike. I come here to hike and to film the nature videos. I live about 20 minutes away from here. 25 minutes away from here. And as I said early on, it's a very beautiful drive, but it is a very windy road. Yeah, I'm usually pretty. I mean, it's not a very complicated trail. You just have to watch where you're going, and stay on the trail because the trail is pretty. You know, it's kind of cut into a very steep slope. So, I mean, this is mountain country. So this whole area, this is if you guys look on the map, first of all, you can Google Jump Off Rock. Second, if you look on the map, like look at the topography map, this whole area is like up and down. So I live between, my house is between two ridges, two mountain ridges. Um, Again, you just have to, you just have to use your common sense. Put it this way, we do have some back roads that are pretty windy, and it is dangerous when it's snow or ice, and we do get snow and ice in this area. In those cases, the best thing to do is to stay at home. A lot of the people in the area work from home and stay off the road, so the people who do have to go out, you know, can have free road. I don't know if you can rename it to something safer. I mean, it's known as a jump off rock. You'd have to throw out and reprint a lot of the tourist materials in which this particular name figures. With like the rock formerly known as the jump off rock. So, but hey, actually, I don't know what kind of tree is this, but I'm seeing a tree that wants to bloom. It's not blooming yet. So, let me see. See that right there? It's with the red buds against that tree wants to bloom. It's gonna bloom like any minute now. Might even start blooming while we're sitting here. But I've seen, just like sitting here, sitting in this very spot where I'm sitting right now, I've seen so many different birds and so much wildlife. I've seen chipmunks and lizards and squirrels, not flying ones. Sorry, they were not flying. They were just like jumping from tree to tree, generally minding their own business, looking for a bird feeder to raid. TikTok Live Rock. Yeah, like I said, they would have to rename an awful lot of stuff or reprint an awful lot of stuff too. To do that. But yeah, at the Blowing Rock is the legend actually ends well, because the reason it's called the Blowing Rock, so that whole valley is has these upflowing air currents. So the story behind the Blowing Rock is that the girl got caught by one of the air currents and deposited very safely back onto the rock. Here, no such luck. She jumped, she fell. So that's a bummer. We are starting to get some nice weather. We are starting to. It does look beautiful. Actually, white squirrel, not here today. I don't know. Gandalf has been bumming around with the dwarves somewhere. So that's my white squirrel, the one that comes to my house. Not white squirrels. Here I saw just the regular squirrels. I do wish Gandalf would bring a friend. This looks beautiful. I mean, it looks beautiful any time of year. I mean, right now it's March and, it's still pretty dreary, but even so, I mean, on a nice day especially, this looks really beautiful in the winter when we have snow. It's hell getting up here, but it is gorgeous. My favorite time to come here is in the autumn. Autumn is my favorite time of my favorite season ever anywhere. So yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny you should say so. Um, I don't like summer in the south because it is very hot and humid. It's not as bad in the mountains, but even so, now my favorite is autumn, winter, spring, and summer. So speaking of writing, motivation, a place to write books, I should do a live from Carl Sandburg's home. Carl Sandburg was a writer and a poet. It's a very, very famous one. Oops, sorry guys, you fell down because you got blown down by the wind. And his house is right here, right in this area. And it's beautiful. Basically, what happened to him is like he just came to visit one time and fell in love with the area. And he just said, okay, when I have the means, I am taking my whole family and I'm moving them here and we're going to have a farm. We're going to have horses, we're going to have goats, we're going to just do stuff. And that's what he did. So, yeah. So it's definitely an inspiring place. And it's just it's nice for nature lovers and wildlife lovers. Just as I said before, if you are an outdoor type of person, if you like kind of active recreation like swimming and hiking and walking and camping, yeah. Oh, and that farm is amazing. Like I said, I haven't been since since probably 2 or 3 months ago. I should take you guys there. And they have a mountain climb there too. It's significantly longer and more challenging, but I should take you guys there. It is just amazing. Yeah. Right now, like I said, the in the people's yards and the people's gardens, where plants are cultivated and tended, where plants are given additional, you know, food like additional compost and stuff like that. So their plants are already blooming. What I will be doing is one of the places in the area is the Biltmore Estate, and I told you guys before of the Biltmore Estate. So it is the house built at the end of the 19th century by George Vanderbilt, and that's like 30 minutes from where I live. So what is coming up in just a few weeks is what we know as the Spring Festival or Festival of Flowers at the Biltmore Estate. Yep, Georgia too, absolutely. Yeah. In Georgia, you get it actually earlier because Georgia is further south from us. But so during the Festival of Flowers at the Biltmore Estate is when all the azaleas are in bloom, and I want to take you guys there and show you the azalea garden. It's just, I can't describe it. I mean, every year, with the few exceptions, almost every year for the last, I want to say 20 years, I came to the Biltmore Estate in almost every season. Yes, fall is absolutely still my favorite. It's gorgeous and everything. But to go to the azalea garden in spring, it's like it's heaven. And I can time it because I have an annual pass, so I can't always get into the house. Although I'd love to get into the house and show you some of the amazing floral arrangements they do when when spring is in full swing. But the grounds definitely are worth seeing, especially, like I said, the formal garden. I don't know if the Italian ponds are going to have their flowers at the time, but the conservatory garden and the azalea garden are so just amazing. And I mean, it takes a small army of people to maintain the Biltmore Estate, but you know. Actually, since we're sitting here, let me pop over and pause my. Since I finished walking all the trails. But yeah, this is such a great, and we have a lot of great spots like that. That's another thing. So if you guys look at the map of North Carolina, unfortunately, you know, North Carolina is a red state. I am a liberal. So, you know, from that standpoint, it can be tough living here. If you look at the map of North Carolina, so this area, this is the western North Carolina, Asheville area, Charlotte area, and the Research Triangle. Those are the kind of the islands of art and science in North Carolina, and all of them are very much worth visiting. You know, I am very awkward too. I'm very shy in person. I am pretty brave on the internet. But in real life, I'm very introverted and shy. I am autistic, and I have borderline personality disorder, so it is very hard for me to interact with people in person. So you're definitely not alone in that. But yeah, so I'm so glad we had a nice day, folks, and I got to show you this. So let me flip the camera one more time. I'm going to head back to my car, but let me show you this amazing, amazing view. And, you know, wherever you are, make some time to get out and enjoy nature. It's so, you know, it's just so amazing. Well, I do post nature walk videos every day, so you can always pop over and watch those. You can put them in a playlist and binge. All right, folks, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I hope everybody has an amazing day. And be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.